And here is sort of like, I don't know, here is, let's talk about what happened with Morning Joe and Mika, and because this is pretty stunning. Let's start with the first story, which is, and this is sort of the first order story. Apparently, it sort of exploded today, where in the wake of Donald Trump tweeting that Mika and Joe were desperately trying to get invited to his New Year's party, but he wouldn't let them in because Mika's face was bleeding from a facelift. I mean, I can't... I can't believe... Well, it's just so insane. It's just so insane.
And
he's the president.
First of all, yes, the president is actually tweeting this out because he watched something on Morning Joe.
No, he heard, supposedly, because he doesn't watch.
Well, no, as I say, that's the thing.
Don't watch it anymore. Don't watch it anymore. Live, fake news.
That's what I was say. That's the thing I love the most is every time he attacks one of these things, I hear CNN saying this about me. Ratings are terrible. I don't watch anymore. And he was just watching. I mean, it's hilarious. But so the tweet in itself of I wasn't watching it was funny enough. Then he's attacking her, and it's like, dude, do you see Ivanka sitting on one side of you and Melania sitting on the other side of you? I'm going to go ahead and say they've had some work done.
I see Ivanka sitting on both sides of me because she's a total babe.
Well, it's also...
Ivanka, she's up, she's down, she's all over.
It's
that car over there looks like Ivanka.
It really is like just it's misogynist and it's just moronic.
But I would say also mentally ill in a certain sense.
For a president to be doing that in and of itself is ludicrous. But again, what he said was disgusting. The fact that all these other reasons we brought up are ridiculous. This is still important because I can't stand this. When people at CNN now are like, "Hey, he's attacking us," or Joe and Mika, you built this.
Okay, we'll get there in a second because first, and let's be clear. Having immigration, having ICE arrest 40% more and tearing apart families. I think Atrios tweeted something to this effect. Far more real legitimate suffering.
Oh, of course.
But with that said,
the people may have health care taken away from them. Sure.
With that said, this story about blackmail seems to me to be, at the very least, inappropriate. Also, I think blackmail is illegal. And I don't know if money, but here is Joe and Mika copping to the fact that, well, first off, there was going to be a story apparently a couple of months ago in April by the National Enquirer that they were having an affair. There were whispers about this for a long time. But apparently there was going to be a National Enquirer story. And they have since come out and did they get married?
I think they're engaged.
Or they're engaged now. But
exactly.
Here is how they retell the story. And this is, even if you don't have any sympathy for these two people. Which I do not.
Nor do I. But
the dynamic,
this is different
because there's no reason to believe they're just doing this with Joe and Mika.
Oh, yeah.
Go ahead.
I'm comfortable talking. I mean, I think we have to talk about it now because it explains the relationship and his really strange obsession with this show, and in particular, his really disturbing obsession with Mika. We got a call that, hey, the National Enquirer is going to run a negative story against you guys, and it was Donald is friends with, the president is friends with the guy that runs the National Enquirer. And they said, if you call the president up and you apologize for your coverage, then he will pick up the phone and basically spike the story. I had, I will just say 3 people at the very top of the administration calling me. And the response was like, are you kidding me? I don't know what they have. Run a story? I'm not going to do it. The calls kept coming and kept coming, and they were like, call. You need call. Please call. So, come on, Joe, just pick up the phone and call him. It's blackmail.
And let me explain what they were threatening. They were calling my children. They were calling close friends.
You're talking about the National Enquirer? No.
And they were pinning the story on my ex-husband, who would absolutely never do that. So I knew immediately it was a lie and that they had nothing. And these calls persisted for quite some time. And then Joe had the conversations that he had with the White House where they said, oh, this could go away.
So I just want to be very clear here.
Wow.
The National Enquirer is harassing your children,
Right.
your daughters, who are teenagers.
Yeah. And it's,
And then Joe, in turn, is getting calls from the White House.
saying,
By
"Call
the
Donald
way,
to
they're
apologize."
also. I was at Mika's house for a few minutes and came out, and there was a guy in a van that was staked out there watching. It was clear that he was from a tabloid.
It was 2
and
in the
he
morning.
He started asking questions.
My
And
shirt was
then,
off.
after all this started happening, that's when we started getting calls from the White House.
Now, I want to just sort of, disaggregate two things here. One is that, look, celebrity rag like these, National Enquirer, they're going to do this, and that's one issue, right?
Yeah.
They do this for, I don't know, Brangelina or
Sure.
all
It
that
sells
type of stuff.
newspapers.
Yes,
That's what they
of
do.
course. And so that is more of a different type of problem. The idea that, and I guess maybe their implication is that, look, Trump knew that they were dating.
Yep.
Says to the Inquirer, "Here's the story. Go find it." Then it comes back and it says, I can spike this. I mean, this is blackmail.
Yep. So
And-
he's blackmailing a media source, and again, as you said, the key thing is, it doesn't matter Joe and Mika. He's probably done this to numerous others. We know he's threatened reporters. We know that people who've worked for him have physically assaulted reporters. Lewandowski, for example.
Well, he did stuff like, here's Lindsey Graham's cell phone, and
Right.
which was indicative of, here's his cell phone number.
Right.
I mean, it's
Or
indicative of
Katie
the same
Tur
thing.
having to be, escorted out because of an event because she was being threatened by people because he was blaming her. I mean, this is his total. This is his stance towards the press. You're either sycophantic state press or you're being threatened. I mean,
Now, and
if
here's
he-
the other thing.
Yeah.
Okay. This is very problematic because it could have happened to other people. It's very problematic as much as I don't have a tremendous amount of investment in what Mika and Joe are telling us every day. Trying to be, respectful
I mean, you
here.
guys haven't even heard
But-
the story about when they called Sam's family.
But
and they
but
said,
wait a second. But
Sam's becoming a Methodist.
why don't we know who those top Trump administration officials were who called him?
That's true.
Because they were the ones who were delivering the blackmail message.
I don't
And
want
if
to
you're-
do the calls anymore. Please
Well,
stop forcing
I mean,
me.
I'm sorry. They're doing it again.
Who do you
You're
think
right.
it is?
No,
They're
no. That's a great point.
top
If
top
they're gonna
officials in the Trump
Right.
administration.
If they're going to
But-
come forward with this story and they're telling the story, then tell the damn story.
Excuse me.
You know, who
like,
was
who
it
are
who
you
thre-
protecting
Right.
and why now? Like what's going on here? You can't come out and say we were blackmailed by this administration, but we're still going to protect those people who are blackmailing us because we want to maintain the relationship.
That's right.
This is.
In a way, that's this show to a T.
I
right?
mean,
it really is. It's why I
this
can't.
it's about access for them, and that is just as disturbing.
Yeah.
They're saying basically we're going to tell the story about blackmail if you really try and embarrass us.
Right.
Right? Well, wait a second. Why didn't we hear this before? It's going to take a tweet where he talks about her face
I know.
to tell us on this. I mean, this seems to be
It's ridiculous.
to be an important story. And if we're going to take it seriously now, we should have taken it seriously
Months ago, whenever it happened.
When it happened, weeks ago.
And tell us who these guys are.
Tell us who the people
Tell us
are.
who the thugs are, who he's having call, because maybe he's having them call other people and do the same thing.
I mean,
I can't help you. I don't even watch that show.
Hi, folks. Sam Seder here. We still need your help on our Patreon page. YouTube ads have come back, but not nearly as much as we had before. So if you can help us out, any little bit helps. Head over to our Patreon page right at this URL, and you'll help us keep helping you by making videos